everybody. Welcome to another episode of Coker Culture. I'm Zach, and tonight's going to be a little bit of a different kind of episode than what you're used to. I'm bringing back old topic and type of show tonight that I love, and it's been a while since I've done. So welcome back to the Psych Zone. Tonight's episode means quite a lot to me, and I have done a good bit of research to prepare this for you guys tonight. So I really hope that you'll take what I've got to say to heart, because it's vitally important, and it's extremely important to every single one of us as we go through it. As many of you know, in fact, if you clicked on this video, then the title should let you know. This is Mental Health Awareness Month here in the month of May. For those of you that watched the Nerd Herd, I talked about this a little bit on our latest live show, but I wanted to go more in depth on it. The month of May is pretty darn stressful for a lot of people, especially folks in my profession, which is education. As we're trying to wrap up a school year, there's always so much to do in the final couple weeks. Not to mention the stress that students feel regardless of their age as they're getting ready to finish up the school year on their end of things. So May is a great month in which to focus on mental health and its importance. And so there are a variety of different things that I want to give you guys information-wise tonight on mental health. So I hope that you'll come along with me. So to start with, just as I would do if you were in one of my classes and I'm introducing a new topic, I always start with the definition. And I tend to try to make my definitions operational because they can change based on the person, based on the situation. So for mental health, for tonight's purposes, really for the purposes of what we're going to be talking about, it is a state of a person's well-being in which they can cope with the normal stresses of life, work productively, and contribute to their community. It encompasses our emotional, psychological, and social well-being, affecting how we think, feel, and act. So with that, the importance of our self-mental health in conjunction to our overall well-being, okay, it can help us cope with stress. So good mental health helps us manage stress and navigate the challenges that we're faced with effectively on a daily basis. It's not going to allow that stress to have as big of an impact as it could on us. Okay, productivity. It enables us to work more efficiently and make meaningful contributions to our community and society when we're in good mental health. If we're not going to want to be productive. We're not going to want to contribute to society or really deal with people, period. Okay, the role it plays with our physical health. Okay, a lot of folks may not see it, but the way that our mind is has a direct impact on everything else. Okay, psychosomatic medicine and mentality, the mind and body connection is legit. That's what I tell kids all the time. The whole fake it till you make it mentality, if you just act like you're happy, eventually it's going to make you feel better. So there is a direct connection there. Okay, for example, depression can increase the risk of chronic conditions like heart disease, #1 killer in the United States. Relationships. Okay, mental health plays a very crucial role in our ability to maintain healthy relationships and social connections. And then overall quality of life. Our overall well-being and quality of life are significantly enhanced when we focus and prioritize the importance of our mental health. So I want to talk about some of the more common mental health issues that we deal with here in the United States. The first, of course, being depression or major depressive disorder. Okay, this is a mood disorder characterized by persistent feelings. Typically, doctors will say feelings at least 2 weeks or more of sadness, hopelessness, and an overall lack of interest or pleasure in activities. Okay, symptoms of depression can be a persistent sad, anxious, or even empty, apathetic mood, feelings of hopelessness or pessimism, easy irritability, a loss of interest in hobbies and activities, anything social, a decrease in your energy or overall fatigue, and a difficulty concentrating, remembering, or making decisions. In the psychological world, depression is viewed as the common cold of psychological disorders. And the reason for that is not because it's so easy to get over, because everybody can get over a cold. It's because of how prevalent it is in our world today. Depression is extremely common as the cold. That's the mentality there. Okay, the second one that I want to talk about is anxiety. And there are a variety of anxiety disorders. I'm only going to highlight a few. Okay, but anxiety disorders involve an excessive fear or worry and distress related to some kind of behavioral disturbance. Common types. First one's known as GAD, and that is an acronym, G-A-D, Generalized Anxiety Disorder. Typically, this is characterized by chronic exaggerated worry and tension. Then you have your various panic disorders, okay, involving sudden and repeated attacks of intense fear. Then you have what's known as SAD, could be the acronym Social Anxiety Disorder, which would be an extreme fear in social situations of any kind, any magnitude. And then specific phobias, okay, the irrational fears that people can develop or be born with to specific objects or even situations. So of course that's where your arachnophobia, your agoraphobia, and those types of fears are worked into that category. Okay, the third and final main type of mental issue I want to talk about tonight, again, these aren't the only ones, these are just the ones I wanted to focus on, is bipolar disorder, the other major mood disorder aside from depression. And where I said depression is the common cold of mental illness, bipolar disorder would be the cancer in amount of its prevalence. This is a mood disorder marked by very, very extreme mood swings, typically between two states. Okay, the emotional highs, okay, the manic or mania stage, and then the very, very, very extreme lows, which would be the depressive stages. Okay, during manic episodes, people will experience elevated or heightened moods. They'll increase their activity and productivity, also their risky behavior. Not such a good thing. On the flip side, in the depressive episodes, you can go back to what I said about depression already, and that's what they would feel there. Apathy, not wanting to do anything, increased irritability, etc. So just to give you an idea of how prevalent mental illness is here in the United States, and I apologize to anybody that may be tuning in from outside of the U.S. It's not that I don't find worldwide statistics important, it's just for the research I did, I just found U.S. statistics, so my apologies up front for that. But 1 in 5 U.S. adults experience a type of mental illness each year. 20% of the adult population. Okay, 1 in 20 U.S. adults experience serious mental illness each year. Okay, so more than just your regular case of anxiety. And then 1 in 6 U.S. youth, okay, and I classified this and found it from ages 6 to 17, experience some type of mental health disorder every year. Okay, so that is not very far off from that adult number, and that's affecting our kids. Okay, of course, mainly our teens, but again, the tracking is as young as 6. So some kids may face some traumas and see this. Okay, major depressive episodes affects 8.3% of all U.S. adults on a yearly basis. Anxiety is a tick higher than that. 19.1% of adults have some kind of issue or bout with anxiety in a given year. And then bipolar is the least of the three, with only affecting 2.8% of adults in the U.S. on a yearly basis. The young adults, okay, from 18 to 25, have the highest prevalence of any other age category as far as mental illness is concerned. 36% of young adults have some kind of classified mental illness. Then you get into that middle age bracket, 26 to 49 years old. Much wider gap there, okay, but a much, I don't say much, but a smaller percentage. 29% of adults 26 to 49 have some form. And then when you get into our older adult category, 50 plus, it's all the way down to 14%. 13.9, gonna round up and give it the 0.1 percentage there, 14%. So as you age, the chances of dealing with or getting a mental disorder definitely do decrease, but those are all still very high numbers. So those are the illnesses. Let's talk about what this month is about. Awareness. Mental health, typically, for whatever reason, in most industrial societies, but especially the United States, it comes with a stigma. And typically that stigma is going to look at or be the negative beliefs, attitudes, even stereotypes that people may hold towards others that have this classification, that have this label of a mental illness. Okay, there's public stigma, where that attitude or belief is going to come from people or groups towards the entire mental health conditions. It could be a self-imposed stigma, okay, where you hold negative beliefs about your own mental health, okay, leading to feelings of guilt and or shame. And then there can also be structural stigma, laws, regulations, policies that limit the rights of people that have mental conditions. Things used to be a lot worse in the United States in that regard. They're not great today, but they used to be horrific. So the impact of that stigma on people can lead to barriers for them to get help, to seek help. Okay, it may prevent or delay them from seeking care or treatment because they don't want that label. They don't want that stigma that they feel like may be attached to it. There's social exclusion. They may feel excluded from their peers, from their social groups, or maybe even face discrimination in society or the workplace as a result. And then your own personal self-esteem. Okay, a self-stigma, like I talked about a few minutes ago, can lead to lower self-esteem overall and can actually hinder your recovery because, like I said, psychosomatic. If you act positive, if you think happy, you'll eventually get there. If you got stinking thinking and you're negative and you're focusing on the negative, it's only going to make things worse. So why is awareness critical? Number one, to break that stigma. Okay, awareness campaigns help get rid of the myths and provide accurate information about various mental health conditions. This can help reduce fear, misconceptions, and stereotypes. It will encourage support. Increased awareness of these disorders fosters empathy and understanding in people, and it will encourage them, hopefully, to support those with mental health challenges to get the help that they may need. It can lead to better policies and practices that support health care and reduce barriers to people achieving and getting it. And it can help promote earlier intervention. When people are aware of their issues, they're more likely to seek help early on, leading to a better outcome for them in the long run. So how can we combat that stigma or that labeling? Education. Schools, businesses, community centers can all offer programs and workshops to help foster a level of care and understanding and empathy. How people with these illnesses are displayed in the media can make a huge, significant change. And having open conversations, okay, open discussions about mental health can help to normalize it and reduce that stigma. By trying to raise awareness and educating the public, we can help create a more supportive and inclusive environment for everyone. I'd be remiss if I didn't take time during this show tonight to talk about some available resources out there for those of you that may need it, depending on what you might be dealing with. So I want to give those to you now. The first is the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. All you have to do is call or text 988 here in the United States for confidential and free 24/7 support for anyone that may be in distress or crisis. Or if you know of someone that may be dealing with that, you can call this number on their behalf. There is a specific veterans crisis hotline as well. Again, you would dial the same 988 crisis number or text it, but then press 1, or you can text directly the number 838-255 for specific dedicated service to our veterans here in the United States. There is also a direct crisis text line. If you text the word HOME, HOME, to 741-741, it will connect you to a trained crisis counselor. Then there is also the disaster distress helpline, where you can call or text 1-800-985-5990 for crisis counseling that's specifically related to natural or human-caused disasters. As for therapy, there are a variety of different ways to go about looking for and finding the help that best suits you if you decide to go that route. I've got a few websites to give you. Findsupport.gov offers information on healthcare, various different treatment options, as well as payment options. Mental Health America, second one here, provides tips in choosing a provider and directories to help you find mental health professionals in your area. Psychology Today kind of does the same thing. It provides a directory to find therapists, psychologists, and counselors. And then this fourth one might be the one that I would suggest the most, because it's one of those one-size-fits-all kind of deals that actually works. And that would be BetterHelp. You can go to the website betterhelp.com and you will be matched with a therapist that is right for you. And the sessions, the therapy are all done online. If you have a few meetings and you don't like your therapist, you can switch. They will find you a different one. There are also various different support groups that are out there for people dealing with mental illness or families that are trying to be proactive in getting help. The first is NAMI, N-A-M-I, okay? There are various NAMI groups throughout the United States. I live in Georgia, so we have NAMI Georgia here, which offers support groups and peer-to-peer support for people and families affected by mental illness. There's Alcoholics Anonymous, probably the most famous of any support group out there for folks struggling with alcohol addiction and other types of addiction. Doesn't just have to be alcohol. There is Al-Anon, okay, which are support groups for families of alcoholics to come together and to talk about what they deal with. And then there's also Families Anonymous, which are support groups for families dealing with substance abuse within the home or with someone they care about. Just a couple other resources that I wanted to give to you guys. There is PSI, okay, Postpartum Support International, which is support specifically, as it says, postpartum for maternal mental health for moms. You got your own dedicated group out there. There's the National Runaway Safe Line, okay, support for any and all runaway youth in the U.S. That number is 1-800-RUNAWAY. Very easy to remember. That's 1-800-786-2929. Okay, and then lastly, your local church. Any local church will have a dedicated team to be able to help you and listen in these times of circumstance and crisis. So maybe you're sitting there and you're thinking, okay, I need help. How do I go about this? What do I need to do? How can I do this? Well, let me go ahead and tell you guys, and this may come as a surprise. I battled depression. It took me a very, 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 very long time to come to terms with that. Maybe the last 6-7 years. It was pre-COVID, so I can't blame it on the pandemic and being stuck here. For those of you that know me and have known me for a very long time, that may come as a very big surprise to you because of my personality and who I am. A lot of times, putting on a face. And if I've done a good job, then you have no idea. But I have battled it, and quite severely at some points in time. So I had to realize this. And it took me explaining things to my doctor for her to say, you have depression. We need to get you on something. Jess knew before I did. I'm the psychology teacher, but I didn't want to admit it. Go back to the stigma and the label if you want. Okay, I've been dealing with it long enough now that I can say it and I know it. So if you feel like you're struggling with something, number one, recognize the signs. Pay attention to changes in your mood, in your behavior, in your overall physical well-being. Okay, common signs, of course, can be persistent sadness, anxiety, irritability, changes in your appetite, changes in your sleep pattern. I had a lot of those, and I was just ignoring them and chalking them up to something else. Reach out. Talk to someone you trust about what you're experiencing. Sharing your feelings can be a vital first step. Consider getting professional help. Consider seeking out a mental health professional, a therapist, a counselor, a psychiatrist. Okay? Again, go back to the websites I mentioned. You can find people on there so that you don't even have to leave your house. Use the crisis hotline if you need immediate support. And of course, self-care. Engage in activities that promote mental well-being, like exercise, mindfulness, trying to maintain a healthy diet. If it's your loved ones that are dealing with this stuff, Try to be a supportive and active listener. I know the joke is we listen and we don't judge, but seriously, listen without judgment. Okay? Allow them to express their feelings without trying to be the quick fix. Let them talk. Let them get it out. Sometimes that's what they need more than anything. Just an ear. Validate how they feel. Acknowledge their emotions. Let them know it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to not be okay. If you feel they need it, encourage them to get professional help. Suggest that they may seek out a mental health professional. Offer to help them find a therapist or accompany them to a session. Okay? Give them a safe space, a non-judgmental environment where they feel open to talking about what they're dealing with. And help support any and all healthy habits. Encourage activities that promote mental health, like regular exercise, a healthy diet, and getting a good night's sleep. Why should you get involved? Or why should we help in the community? Okay, participating in local mental health initiatives and support networks can make a huge difference in any community. It helps raise awareness, reduce stigma, and provide essential support to those in need. So how can I get involved? You can volunteer. Many organizations, including some of the ones I mentioned before, need volunteers for events, support groups, and various forms of outreach. Join some of those support groups. Participate or even facilitate them to give a safe space for folks to share their experiences and receive the support that they need. Be an advocate for change. Engage in advocacy efforts to help promote better mental health policies and funding. You could write to your local representatives or find an awareness campaign in your area or even attend public meetings. Fundraise. Any and all of these organizations are going to have fundraising efforts to help support them and their practices and what they do. And then education and training. There's nothing you can do better for yourself than getting more educated on the topic. Attend workshops, training sessions, learn more about mental health and how you can support others. Okay, many organizations, including some of the ones I mentioned before, will offer programs for people in the community. So how can you find these initiatives? There are online directories. Like I mentioned earlier, Psychology Today, Mental Health America, NAMI. They can help you get hooked up with local chapters. Community centers will typically have something in their area on mental health. And then social media. I know we dog social media, and it's an awful place when you're dealing with mental illness, but there are organizations and support groups on social media trying to spread the message of positivity and awareness, so you can hook up with them there. So what can I do if I'm trying to take care of myself? What do self-care strategies look like? Okay, I mentioned mindfulness. Some of you may think, well, what does mindfulness consist of? It can consist of several things. Okay, try to dedicate 5 to 10 minutes of your day to meditation, to mindfulness. It helps reduce stress, improve your focus. One thing I have my psychology kids do, my AP psychology kids, is keep a gratitude journal for a period of 2 weeks. I ask them to write down at least 3 things that they're grateful for each day to help them cultivate a positive, optimistic mindset. What are 3 things I'm thankful for today? And then I also have them add something else of, what can I work on to make my next day better? Or what could I work on to make myself a better person? And then another one that's really easy, deep breathing. Just practice a routine, breath exercises to stay present in the moment, calm. This could even help you go to sleep if you wanted to do it while you're laying in bed. Take 5 to 10 minutes to focus on that. All right, I'm about to preach to the choir. I'm preaching to me. Exercise. I'm awful, y'all. I am awful about regular exercise. Aim for 30 minutes a day. Walking doesn't have to be major, okay? Just small amounts of exercise can boost your mood and overall health. I'm zonked at the end of every day. That's why I go to bed so early. I know that's an ongoing joke, but I come home and I'm dead. I don't feel like doing anything. I'll sit on the couch for hours until we move upstairs, and then I'll just lay in the bed. Incorporate different types of exercise. Try strength training, try stretching, try yoga or other aerobic activities. Okay? If you're in a sedentary job where you sit a lot, try to take breaks where you can stretch or go for a walk, even if it's just around the office or around your room or to the bathroom and back. Just don't be so sedentary. Preaching to the choir again. Healthy eating. Try to get a balanced diet. Focus on a diet that's rich in veggies, in fruits, in lean proteins, and whole grains. Okay, make sure that you are drinking 8 to 10 cups of water a day. Keep yourself hydrated. Limit caffeine and alcohol. Again, I'm bad. Used to think I was really good because I switched to the zero sugar stuff. I have at least 3 of these, not these, but 2 cans and one of these. Haha, 2 cans for those of y'all that watch Ty's video. Excuse me, you know what I'm talking about. But I'll have 3 Coke Zeros a day. That's a lot. Okay, and I don't drink alcohol very often at all. It's just not part of my daily or even weekly routine. But these can still have a heavy weight on your overall emotional state. All right, let's talk about sleep, because as y'all know, dealing with my apnea, this is something that I focused on. Try to have a consistent schedule. Establish a regular sleep schedule of where you're going to bed and waking up around the same times each day, so your body adjusts. Try to create a calming atmosphere or routine around your bedtime. And as best you can, try to avoid screen time before bed, whether it's on a laptop, phone, television. That tends to keep your brain alert and focused and awake, and makes it harder for you to go to sleep. Social connections. Try to stay connected. Foster meaningful connections with friends and family to combat your loneliness. YouTube has been my outlet for a very long time. I used to come home and get lost in videos and living vicariously through others. I've been blessed to find a community on YouTube now to where I'm not just watching, but I'm hopping on chats and I am talking to people virtually multiple times a day, every day. And so even though I'm not in person, I've made these connections with people that I've yet to meet in real life. I hope to, but I've fostered these relationships in this community. And join groups, participate in activities or support groups. Build yourself a sense of belonging. Set boundaries. Practice saying no. It's hard, especially if you're a people pleaser, but know what your limits are. Set yourself some boundaries to protect your mental energy. Okay? Say no. It's okay to say no. Learn something new. Find a new hobby or skill to boost your brain health and your overall self-esteem as you improve at it. And positive affirmations. I know if you're old like me, you think Richard Smiley, I think that was his name, I'm smart enough, good enough, and doggone it, people are going to like me. It's a joke, but seriously, use daily affirmations to build self-confidence and combat the stinking thinking. Finding purpose, something that's vitally important to us here at Coker Culture, hence the what's your why. Having a sense of purpose. Engage in activities that give meaning to your life. Volunteer. Pursue hobbies. Find ways of connecting in your community. It can help you stay motivated and focused in times of challenge and crisis. Cultivate your self-image and build up your self-confidence by reminding yourself of your strengths and what you've accomplished. Replace negative thoughts with affirmations or challenges like, I can handle this, or I am capable. Build yourself a support system. Maintain relationships with friends, family, co-workers. Have a supportive network that can help provide emotional support and help during those periods of challenge. Be adaptable and flexible. Be willing to embrace change. You gotta understand that change is a part of life. I don't like change. Most people don't like change. But instead of a challenge, view it as an opportunity for self-growth. Self-growth. There we go. Words are hard. Being flexible can help you navigate these uncertain times more effectively. Try to practice optimism. Keep a positive outlook. Focus on the good in situations and be grateful. Keeping that gratitude journal can help you channel and keep that positive mindset. Prioritize activities that promote your well-being. Exercise, healthy eating, relaxation. Taking care of your physical health can help boost your resiliency. Problem solving. Enhance your ability to tackle challenges by breaking them down into steps. Approach issues and problems methodically and actively seek your solutions. Set goals. Set realistic and achievable goals to give yourself motivation, direction, and here's that word again, purpose. Working towards these goals can provide a sense of accomplishment and motivation. Be proactive. Take steps to address stressors rather than avoiding them altogether. This can involve seeking help, making plans, and taking small steps towards overall resolution. And lastly, continuous improvement. Resilience is a skill that can be developed and maintained over time. Commit to ongoing learning and self-improvement to strengthen your ability to cope with stress. Thank you so much for giving me your attention this evening, this morning, this afternoon, whenever you decide to watch this video or it finds your way onto your YouTube timeline. I truly appreciate you tuning in and listening. If you don't have anybody to talk to, if you don't have anyone that you feel that you can confide in, my comments are open. You can find us on social media, Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram. We're easy to find, easy to reach. I'm happy to talk with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of our subscribers, all of the people in this wonderful community. Please, please, please take care of yourself. There's only one you. You are unique and you're awesome. Until next time, what's your why?